keep hustling.
Good morning, guys. Yesterday's Bitcoin pump saw price move into my sell zone. Am I saying relief rally over? Should we start becoming bears again? All this and more in today's video. So please do the following. Hit the like, hit the subscribe if you want to find out a little bit more. And I'll get into charting for you guys. Let's kill the music. Let's keep the music. Let's keep the beat. It's not bad. It's not bad. Let's keep the beat. Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. Beat's over. Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. We've moved into an imbalance. Imbalances is areas where the market has moved really fast. There's liquidity left behind, or the order book was very thin. And in the end of the day, those gaps always act as magnets. Price will move back into those little zones and either continue on trend, break through, and turn that into support. Here's a few examples. You can see imbalances get tested into the future. And this means I'm not bearish on Bitcoin per se. I have the right to be bullish for the following reasons. We've been tracking Bitcoin's price. This is Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, all the way to the upside. We tracked it using this chart, if I'm not mistaken. Let's quickly load the chart. Everybody should be familiar with this one. We tracked it using this chart. And during the process, every time we had bearish divergence, we sold, but we didn't get out of the market from a bull-bear market perspective for the following reason. The momentum was still there. Everything was there. And at 125, you guys know. Stanku, Bronwyn, you guys know. I sold out 125. I've said it publicly. I had guests. I explained it to them. It might not age well for me, but I stuck to my narrative because of certain technical analysis invalidations for a bull trend. Now, it's that same kind of situation that I find myself in with Bitcoin right now. We've got imbalances, we've got TA, we've got everything pointing to a specific, to a specific analysis. But now we've got people fighting. There's a user sentiment, underlying sentiment now. It's sold off. It has to be a bear market. And I want this now to dump. So I find that there's a lot of people wanting to be bearish. A lot of people almost chasing the opportunity to short Bitcoin, although we are in a relief rally. And that's what I want to try and talk to you guys to today. So if that makes sense, or you want to guard against that, the next part of this video is going to help you a lot. Remember, I cannot give you financial advice. This is not financial advice. I don't know what the future holds. All I do is read the technicals and I act accordingly in what would probably be the most probable play, statistically the most probable play. That's all I do, and that's how I trade for a living. But when on the weekly time frame then, the analysis and the way that I used to get out is simple. We've had strong bearish divergence print multiple times. It's clearly identifiable on the chart. You can see that, and you can see how price is going and making higher highs, RSIs making lower highs. Another way to put this would be to say, as price is going up, there's less buyers supporting it. At the end of the day, the guy that bought there, the way you can say this, and you can basically quote Jeremy Clarkson in the world, you know, that voice of his. There was literally nobody in the world willing to buy Bitcoin at a higher price. That's what that means. That's all. This means then if you want to read the RSI, all that it is pointing to is if there's price going up, it's good. We all want it to go up. But there's less and less people participating in that move. It's diverging, meaning it's running out of momentum. Something is going to change, and there's little nuances that we can use to track that. Nuances like when that divergence occurs, a retrace is okay, but you don't want price to fall below the previous divergence pivot. And when we were at around 118, price was falling below that pivot. And I anticipated that by selling higher. That's why I said when I did that to everybody, listen, I might be wrong. This thing could pump. But that's the anticipation. But it was supported by this higher time frame, common sense analysis that you can see here, that when there's divergence and we lose that initial pivot support, that's when the dip becomes more than just a dip. Now, relief rally. Let's talk to the relief rally real quick. And let's maybe just brighten up the tone a little bit because it feels like it's a lesson. We're just chilling. We're talking Bitcoin. Oh, come on. Let me know where you're tuning in from, guys. Let's see. Hello. Good morning, my friend. Good morning, Vitali, Stanku, and Bronwyn. Hope you have an amazing day trading and enjoying crypto just for what it is. The biggest online casino, as they would say. To the point, the relief rally. The relief rally at this stage, we want it to end if you want to be a bear and you want to start selling this. But you don't, but please don't jump the gun. Just like we waited patiently for bearish divergence to break through a support, the market needs time to set it up. A relief rally will need the same amount of time or same equivalent version of time to set itself up. So to try and get to the point that I'm trying to make. Where we're at right now, there's absolutely boggerel, zero, nothing telling me that this is ready to go down lower. It doesn't mean that it can't go down lower, and if so, that's it. But from a TA point of view on the weekly, to set your bias, your internal clock to what you think the next 3 months is going to be, there's nothing. All we have is the previous signal, and that is hidden bullish divergence. Lower low, higher low, saying that the market's going to go higher. It's not done yet. Each one of these lows got met with either weak bullish divergence or in this instance, hidden bullish divergence. Weak bullish divergence, hidden bullish divergence. That's it. So lows are tuning in from New Zealand, buddy. Watching and learning, starting trying out your free indicators, but I can't say I fully understand them yet. I have a problem, my friend. I try and simplify things, but then I get hung up on the journey. Some swings if I'm lucky. The big thing is, if any of the indicators, what I would say is start with a higher time frame. Start with an hour or so. The reason for that is it's just going to give you better data, and it's just going to help you find your feet because there's less manipulation on that. When you start zooming in on the small, you need so much more data to be able to let the probabilities play out in your favor. Think of it like a casino, my friend. If the statistics that I need to see whether the casino is going to be profitable is going to be on one machine and today's data only, that could still point to that the casino might not be profitable because that could be a bad day on the machine. So as soon as you start zooming in to try and look at one thing, you need a lot of data. Now, what does a casino do to combat that? They have many machines and they have many different games. That brings the data more to their favor. It helps them to understand whether they are running in a probable favor or probability in the client's favor or the user's favor. Okay, that's it, something like that. So just let the thing play out. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Back to the point. Bitcoin on the weekly time frame now has got nothing other than bullish signals. Bitcoin on the weekly time frame is far from any resistance levels. Bitcoin on the weekly time frame does not have, and this is the key, hidden bearish divergence. We need a trap in order to continue down, which would typically mean the market will rally up to a specific point, and this RSI will overshoot like crazy, giving you hidden bearish divergence, confirming a bear trend, which we don't have. Therefore, the idea around Bitcoin on the weekly is that you should not try and think this is the time to short the thing. Stop trying to be the bear. Wait for the market to prove it, and then you can be the bear. Hope it helps. Hope it makes sense. That's Bitcoin weekly time frame. Now, if we scale this down to the daily time frame, let's look at what we can do. That's the next phase before we say relief rally over. What we can do, Bitcoin on the daily. Now I've got the Buddy Pro Analyst tool on. This is a paid version. It's got a lot more function to them as the free versions. Not that the free versions doesn't come with their benefits and their help as well. Jordan Ronaldo Federer. Good morning to you, my friend. What it does, it gives you an analysis based on, I'm going to make the text a little bit bigger for you guys so you can just read through it. It tells you quickly, without a glance, it does all the maths in the background, what's happening. So on the daily, the trend has turned bullish. Momentum is still range bound. We're still chopping. It's not like we're trending. So that helps us if we want to be bearish to kind of cementing the idea, because it's choppy. You can see it's not trending. It's not a trend. It has to go down. But just because it's range bound doesn't mean that it can't change. Think of it as a river, and momentum's the depth of the river. It could be raining somewhere, and the big tidal wave that's going to come down is on its way. We don't know. Therefore, momentum by itself cannot be used to determine bias. Trend by itself cannot be used to determine bias. And structure, you need all three. Once you have all three, that then tells you. And what we do have is all three tells us that we should have sold our swing longs and we should consider swing shorts. Daily time frame. Let's then zoom into the daily time frame. If you look at this from a daily time frame, what have we done? Sold my swing longs and I'm in swing shorts. That is true. But for the weekly time frame, what have we done? Sold our swing longs and momentum on the weekly is still bullish. That's the contradiction. So what do we use to pick a side? Because we have to pick a side. And I will always use the prevailing trend to pick a side until proven elsewhere. What do I need to prove elsewhere? Delete the divergence. Go make a lower low. Do that for me. Go to 75. Then I can get behind a bear move. Daily time frame then. To finish up with the daily time frame. There's a few pivots, divergence pivots that we can use. I'm going to switch the buddy just to stealth mode, meaning just taking away all the candle overrides. Makes the chart look exactly the way that it used to be when I T8 before I had the Buddy Pro, coded up for you guys. That's all that it is. Now it's normal candles, normal everything, just with a guide box there. If this is the normal trend at this stage, this would be the area that I would identify as my last pivot on the RSI. I'll bring in the RSI. You can see there's the last pivot. And price at this stage has got hidden bearish divergence. But now, Rudo, you just said there isn't anything. But here's the catch. If I then use this wave by itself, because the hidden bearish divergence, although it be there on the daily time frame, should be supported by the wave that created the move with strong bearish divergence. Meaning somewhere in there, the RSI needs to start trending to the downside, but price goes and makes a higher high. We don't have that yet. And who's to say we're going to get that? All I have to go on at this stage is the fact that, yes, we're in the sell zone, but I don't have the final trigger event to pull the trigger to say, now I'm shorting. And the best way to try and explain this to you guys is to say, Bitcoin at 104 there was a bad buy for that guy because this is what he had. This time at 104 is even a worse buy for this guy. But this guy buying at 104 had an amazing time. Not all price points are created equal at all times. Which means we might be in the sell zone right now, but today, 96 is not necessarily a good sell. Maybe 2 weeks from now, 96 might be a good sell. That's what I'm waiting for. While that happens, this relief rally, this momentum is still intact. Our fear and greed, let's quickly have a look at fear and greed. It's not there, it's this one. There we go. I'm going to just refresh the chart there real quick. Wrong one, sorry. Sitting in a neutral zone. Half of you guys watching, there's about 80 of you guys watching. This is saying 80 of you guys want this to be bullish. 40 of you guys want this to be bullish. The other 40 wants it to be bearish. That's what this is saying. YouTube sentiment, Twitter sentiment, all those metrics tell us that crypto-related content demand is at an all-time low, which means the few that are here are still really engaged in the market, and the rest, the majority, they've buggered off, so they're not even factoring in on this. A top needs to have everybody believe there's more in order for them to turn it around, for there to be enough exit liquidity. And where we're at right now, we could argue that the top was 125 and we're in the bear setup, but then we need the signals to establish that trend, and we don't have that yet. To end the message then, where we're at right now, guys, trend direction is that of a bull. I'm going to trade bullish. I understand that there's the higher metric there, and you want to be a bull until it fails. Then you want to flip a bear. You don't want to try and say to yourself, I know it's going to be a bear, because then you enter the market with that idea that you can predict the future. And that's when most traders burn themselves out. Because when you're wrong, then there's something you've overlooked. I need to learn more, or I need to be better. It doesn't work that way. You didn't overlook it. You just can't control the future. Let's see what you had to say. Personally, I have no direction bias. Hedge either way. I don't care what price does. I don't own crypto. Just trade it. What's the saying? Don't hate it. Don't date it. Just trade it. It's a good way to look at this. The macro analysis that I have, and it's played, it ended up ringing true, is on the basis that Bitcoin, from a halving to halving perspective, between the time that it takes from one halving to the next halving, let's put it in better words, around the 38.2% of that time, Bitcoin tops. Around the 618% of that time, Bitcoin bottoms. It's done this every time. We've used this to successfully stay in Bitcoin up until October, November last year. That then means I'm only going to turn my sentiment-o-meter in my body back to a bull August this year. Give the market time. It does not mean that Bitcoin needs to go down there. It can for all, we don't know. We don't know what the future's going to. It could range around. Just like the pump, the new high was very low. Maybe the new low will be closer as well. And there's a lot of those data where the ribbons are, and these kind of things. And hey, who's to say that this won't ring true? Let's load that. There's the rainbow ribbon. Who's to say that won't true? But to argue that it needs to go to 1 million in this cycle, in this year, you need a lot of capital to do that. I doubt that. It seems a little far cry from something this big. Time will tell again. I might be eating my shoes. That's the right analysis. Before we move on to the altcoins, I just want to say hello to Peter in the background. Hello, buddy. Thanks for joining in. I didn't give him a heads up that I'm going to go live. So the fact that he's here proves how committed he is. Say hi to everybody.
Hi.
There you go. And he's got a beautiful haircut. He was going to meet the president. Yes. And nobody gets to see his haircut. So let's do this. Look at Peter's beautiful haircut. Now he's removed himself. He's a shy guy, it seems. Okay, let's get back to the charts, guys. So any other questions, anything regard that, let me know in the comments real quick before we move on to some alts. I'd love to see or hear what you guys have. I'll bring my camera back. Peter just fixed the scenes. It seems like my camera is missing. There you go. You've got the right button. Let's then take this analysis and this bias that we have for Bitcoin to the 4-hour time frame, because now we understand weekly. We're in hidden bullish divergence territory. We don't have any bearish signals. The daily did have its trade. Yes, the argument would be that, but yet again, we don't have anything establishing. We've not had enough of a pump to have any divergence, any imbalances to really say that the market's going to turn and sell down lower. If we then take that information onto the 4-hour, the argument then would be that the 4-hour should now have, for this relief rally, a healthy trend to the upside. Let's see if that is truly the case. So I'm going to switch the buddy just to stealth mode, just to familiarize you guys how we would normally look at the charts. So this was our buy area. We had the lateral range play out, upper end of the range, lower end of the range, midpoint of the range. Price chopping around this range. We've broken out of the range. Now, this is how a typical bull trap works. It breaks out. It gets to a point. Late longs enter the market here, and early shorts enter the market here. Because we were in a range-bound environment, price will typically go and test the upper end of the range again, meaning we could see 93, 95 again. This will cement the bearish bias for the short trader, saying, look, I was right. I told you it's going to go down. I'll get the Twitter messages for guys telling me you don't know what you're talking about. This was the top. It's going to go down. And then you'll get the bulls guys again saying, again, but relief rally was a BS. Maybe I need to abandon the trade. And that's the typical chop market. And then from that point onwards, the bulls, the traders will wait for this scenario to drive price higher. And it's only at that stage where there will be one pivot living there on the RSI, and there will be the next pivot, and then we can make the call whether this is in truly going to be divergence. I need that. Example, you can have divergence within a move, but you need wave-on-wave divergence to make the call. Higher high, lower high. Therefore, the retrace is possible. That's what I'm saying. Then there will be another pump, most probably. And then we will play. That pump could continue on and delete divergence. We will wait and see. And that's the scenario that I have on the 4-hour. So for now, the 4-hour is healthy. When will this retrace happen would be the next question I think you guys would ask. And I'll try and see if I can answer that for you guys. Yet again, I can't give you financial advice because I don't know what the future holds. But all I can do is just measure out the probabilities. Where we are right now, the RSI is turning down. But here's the catch. It's turning down. Everybody that wants to be bearish is going to see the bearish signals they want. You can see there, Rudo, there's the high. Let's just make that green so it stands out. There's the high. Now we've made a low. Now we've made a higher high, and the RSI has made a lower high. Strong bearish divergence, man. Get your shorts in. No, this is a bullish signal. Why? Because that initial pivot, price is staying above it, just like it did on the weekly time frames. Staying above that initial pivot. If we fall below it, oh yes, change the picture, trade short. But we're not there yet. We can't say that it's going to do that. Maybe it does. If it happens to do that, I will get in with the momentum. Yet again, here's a catch. As it's doing this, the RSI is making lower lows on these lows. It's giving you hidden bullish divergence. Think of it like this. Have a look at there. There's lower lows. There's higher lows. There might be another pump. Look at any of these areas where the market turns around. Well, there's a little messy. Probably you'll see it here again. There you go. Now you're getting your higher high in price, lower high in the RSI. Ah, get out. No, because what it's doing is it's making lower lows, higher low. Then it's doing it again. Gives you a new high, gives you another higher high. Another divergence again. There's a low. There we delete the divergence, the hidden bullish divergence. Now we take the short serious. We've not deleted that yet. Until we delete it, we cannot take the short serious because now we're trying to predict, we're trying to trade against what is there. I would rather bet long and say that we could potentially see 95 go visit 98. We can still also go to the other levels. These are all statistically high probability bounce points before we retrace. That's the 4-hour analysis. So for now, 95,600 is a buy zone to try and drive price a little bit higher. Let's see what we can find with the buddy that can support this. I'm just going to clean up the indicator, because remember, the buddy indicator is built and designed on the basis that you don't need me. I want you guys to be able to function without me, because 2 o'clock in the morning, if the market dumps and you're awake, there's no YouTube video or reassurance or any financial support from anybody out there. It's always going to just be on you. There is no financial advice. That doesn't exist. It's risk and how you manage it. So taking the indicator and putting it into trader mode then tells us, well, if the trend is bullish, what do we need to do? Trend's bullish, momentum is bullish, structure is bullish. Trader mode, it's doing exact same thing as what we're doing there. Support now for the bigger picture lives at $90,000. There. This entire move will be wave 1, 2, 3, 4. We will create hidden bullish divergence at some stage, and then it will print a new support. Most probably going to be at 94. Just a little bit lower. It works a little bit different. But from that point onwards, you still want to trade the bullish setups. And because it's on the 4-hour, because you're bullish on trend, you can then dive into lower time frames. Go on to the 1-hour first. Make sure that it supports that. The 1-hour is bullish as well. And immediately you'll see the trade setups, because they get filtered per the trend direction, means it's just going to give you bullish setups. There you entered on the strat 2, TP1, TP2, TP3. There was a strat 4 that didn't play out, but there was a strat 3. I barely missed. So this one, you've had that entry on the 1-hour to trade with, and it went to TP. The others didn't quite get to the entry zone. 15-minute time frame, let's clean up the chart. 15-minute time frame, let's clean up the chart. Same thing now. As the momentum is getting stronger for Bitcoin, it's telling you it's a trend, it's turning blue, enter. Now, typically how we go about this, when you have that, 3 candles back, that's where your swing trade invalidation is. And then you trade the bull setups. There was an entry there, those 2 gray lines, with a red line invalidating them right there. You guys can see the red line. It gave you additional entry, tighter entry right there. Didn't fill because that wick didn't touch it. And then it gave you a third probable opportunity for if this doesn't get triggered, which is another hidden bullish divergence version, which in this instance didn't fill. So out of those 3, one that did get filled, TP1, TP2, TP3. And because the strategy analyst at this stage will probably tell you to swing long, let's quickly make sure that that's the case. I'm going to have to hit the replay button and see what it was saying at that stage. Telling you to stay in your longs. It will keep you in the long for as long as the trend moves up. So let's hit the play button and let's see how it plays out. Keep an eye on that. It tells you keep your longs. It's giving you more long setups. Some will fail. Now it's saying, oh, the trend is changing, but stay in your longs. You're below support, momentum is changing, but you're still okay to hold your long. And that's where we're at right now. So any of the buys that you would have had from way back there, you can still hold them. The only problem is for the guy that wants to buy right now. That's the guy that cannot hold their longs because you're buying in this environment. And all you need to do is wait for this to turn blue. Once it turns blue, you're good. Okay, there you have it. There's Bitcoin analysis done on trader mode. So now you have that. And analyst mode basically just works on the same basis, but it just doesn't give you any of the setups. So stealth mode gives you the opportunity to still do your own charting. A lot of guys want to do their own charting, so you just get the recommendation. without any of the structure. So it gives you trend momentum. You do the charting to put the structure in there. Trader mode, now you know the trend is there. You've done all the homework. You know you're trading in harmony with the trend. Then you take the trade setups, and then obviously analyst mode is the easiest way to have it. You can see what the market wants to do. Now, if you want to support the content, guys, all you need to do is get a BitMart account. Now, I've got the comment and the link, everything posted in there in the chart. And BitMart, I've managed, they've given me a great deal. You can have $1,510 in USDT rewards by doing the following. Signing up gives you $10. A fresh deposit, if you deposit $1,000 or more, gives you $500 in your futures trading account. Trading volume going over 10 million gives you another $500, gives you another 10,000. Whoa, another $1,000 in your account. $1 million trading volume puts another $100 in your account. It's as simple as that. You've got the whole week to sign up to qualify for this. I doubt that you need 100, and it's only up to the first 100 users. I've already got 10 users signed up. There's 90 of them left. Now make sure to take advantage of that. In addition to this, if you do that, I am trading a copy trade account for everybody in the group now. I started 2 days ago. That was the first day. This is the second day. Yesterday wasn't my best trading day. I kind of made a few mistakes there. But at the end of the day, anybody that signed up can be part of the copy traders. So if you look at what the followers, the first guy that signed up on day one, he made $30 out of his $100. The guy that signed up last night, I haven't taken any trades on that account just yet, has made $0. Share 50% of the profit. If I make $100 on your account, 50 comes to me, 50 goes to you. It's a fair deal, huh? 50-50. And you're more than welcome to sign up on that as well. So make sure to take advantage of that. And that will then also give you access. If you do, give you access to the co-vesting strategies update channel in the Discord, where I basically, at the end of the day, post the comments, my remarks on the trades, give you an opportunity to see how I go about trading and how I go about trading for a living, which is, I think, more important, because it's anybody can trade. It's trading profitable, trading and being profitable consistently. That's the hard part. There you have it. Over to the altcoins, guys. So support the content. You know what to do. Over to the altcoins then. The coin that I was interested in yesterday, Lab, the coin's ticker is Lab. If we look at this from a 4-hour point of view, what do we have? It's important then, we zoom out, just see where we are structure-wise. Opening had a nice big pump. There's a critical area of resistance sitting right there. Once we get above it, this becomes our playground again. And the way the market tends to do is when you look at wicks like those, I'm going to switch this thing to stealth mode real quick. Settings. There's the tooltips telling you how to use the indicator as well. Stealth mode. Which makes the candles just like it used to be. Okay. I made everything one color. Let's just make this blue again and make that orange again. There, apply to all. There we go. So now it's normal candles. This is how I normally would analyze the market. That wick there has got liquidity left behind. 50% FIP. We typically go and test that area, which means that this thing, for me, it means that this thing from 14 to 43 has got a lot of room to play. Do I enter right now? Hell no. Don't enter right now because we're not ready yet. We're at a ceiling. We're at a resistance zone. But it's worth putting on your list. Once it's on top of that area, that's where the move is going to happen. That could be on Saturday. That could be on a day that I don't do YouTube. That's why I tell you these things. I'm not here to give you signals. I'm not a signal service provider, guys. I'm here to tell you where the leads are. You know what to do. You've got the tools. Okay. Another one that I've got my eyes on, CLO. I've got a little bit of TA on this one. Let's just go to another screen. I'll go to the 4-hour time frame on this as well. Launch. got above that resistance area. This is where lab is at. Still probably going to go there or even there. Lab's got a lot of legs. CLO's got the momentum. The big thing is just how high it's going to go. It's in price discovery to the upside, which means if you want to know how to trade a bull market or you want to experience a bull market, this is a better play than trying to play with Bitcoin or anything like that. I would rather play there because of this now. I mean, it's just proven to you that there's a lot of momentum. Question is, Rudo, but what if the momentum runs out? Well, you're only going to be wrong once. You've got clues that tell you when the momentum runs out. Now, what have we done here? Divergence, lower low, higher low. Oh, shit, momentum ran out. But what did we done here on the lower end? Low, weak bullish divergence or hidden bullish divergence, depending on how you want to say that. The move is good and solid. We're at the ceiling. Once we're above that area, this is just the end of a wave, meaning one with more to come. With the macro on this, like that. You had a good short. I'm happy for you, my friend. That is amazing. I looked at ARC and I was thinking, oh, I should have shorted it as well. I missed the bus on that one because we wrote it up nicely. I mean, we went long. I did this on the copy trade account with everybody. I went long there in that zone at 50 or 0.50. And I wrote it all the way to there. And I exited. So I had that entire pump on a 20x leverage position. And I could have just shorted the thing back down. But now if you look at this, we're still above support. We're building a base. There's probably going to be more at a later stage. And shorting these does end up being very profitable, I have to say. Next one that I want to talk to you guys is Crimea River. Now, the reason I'm saying Crimea River, I made the mistake yesterday, and I want to warn you guys about it because I felt like an idiot for making this stupid mistake. As I was analyzing the thing, we had yesterday, let's quickly go to 14th. I'll put the line down there. 14th of start, 14th there, 8 in the morning. From there to there, there's a 32% pump on those 4 hour candles. So a lot of money to be had there. Which what I did was I replayed my chart there. And as I got busy during the day, now I'm switching to lower time frames, waiting for my breakout. And I'm looking, it's still at 22, it's still at 23. It's still time. I want to get in. I want to get in. That's the reason this trade yesterday was such a boring trading day. Because that day was actually earmarked for River. And I'm waiting for this thing to turn because I want to, when I enter, I want the momentum to be there. Now I'm on the 15-minute time frame and I'm staring at this thing. It's not ready. It's not ready. And then I'm busy on another chart and I'm back busy on another chart. And finally, when I realized this thing can't be at the same price, man, this is looking like a stable coin now. I had the replay button, the replay function on. Feeling like an idiot. It happens. It does. So please check. If you do the replay or the retest on this, just don't let that happen to you. Because then when I switched it off, I mean, the move had run. We were there. We were in the move. It's over. Okay. Shorting the Chinese meme coins, probably really good, profitable a trick out there. Chris, what's on FR? Hello, my friend. One more coin. There's a lot of coins, but I think one more coin that I want to bring to your attention that I think has got a lot of legs deep. Let's have a look at this on the 4-hour time frame. Healthy trend to the upside, healthy correction. We had no divergence. What happened there? We stayed above the pivot. Then we had divergence. We've retraced with hidden bearish bullish divergence. We made a higher high. This time around, there's no real divergence. One can argue is harmony, or one can argue weak bearish divergence. We're in the buy zone for continuation. I want to wait until we get above that level, just to confirm that we've reclaimed support. Once we do, it's more price discovery. And it's that same old thing as always. Let's have a look at when it pumped. The RSI will stay wrong way longer than you want it to be. There's a lot of move that happens before that really takes effect. And deep does have that play for me. And if I then look at this from a big structural point of view, with Bitcoin grinding sideways, alts might find their voice. There's a lot of move in that. On a 20x, that's a lot of percents that can come your way. Good point that you're making about XMR, Monero, putting back a bit, Dash, all those privacy coins and the privacy sector really trending hot right now. It's that hot narrative right now. So it's wise to go and have a look at those coins as well. So let's start with XMR. It's on the list here. When you're in something that does this, if you're not in it, there's not a lot that you can do other than to switch to, say, a 5-minute time frame. And then when the trend changes, get back in. Now, the buddy makes it simple for you guys because you can just use the trader mode. Wait for the colors to turn blue and then bang it in. But what I would suggest is make sure that on the higher time frames, you're in a probable buy zone, which means that on the hourly, what have we done? We've fallen below a support. So this is buy the dip territory, but you first need to make sure the dip doesn't end up dipping all the way back down. And the way that that will do is it will create a lateral range and then it will reclaim that support. And at that stage, the override will turn blue again on the candle. An example would probably be found if we go back down. Something like this, you know, where lateral range turns orange and then changes back and reclaims. I can argue there's a support area that was lost. Then you know you're in the go. You can go. You can switch to lower time frames. We can mark it out. Maybe put a line down there. Now you can switch to a lower time frame and say, okay, because of that, switch the buddy to trader mode and trade the setups. S2, entry, TP1, TP2, TP3 got hit. S4, never got into the S4, never got into that one, but there it gave you another S3. Maybe it stopped out there a little bit. Market can be spiteful like that. But then the move continues onward. And all along, if you use the swing strategy, as long as it's blue, you hold your longs. It takes that emotional, oh shit, what if this is the top, away? Because you know that this thing will calculate it based on maths and other indicators and other factors. Then it makes it easy for you to trade the bias, meaning be bull. Buy zone there, that one failed, that one's there. Hovering around, still blue, still hold your longs, still making higher highs. Falling below resistance, reclaimed it. You know, it keeps you in the move. Just listen to that. Makes it simple. Okay. There you have it. So XMR, let's take this away. XMR, leave. A really good tool, easy to use. And XMR itself is now just basically finding its retrace, finding a floor, reclaim this, turn this candle blue again, and then you can go. And then it will probably have another good run if the market allows. Let's see what Bleduram, I'm saying that wrong, but okay. Check XMR XAU chart, quite interesting. So now you want to take this and compare it to, what's it, XAU gold. Maybe we can do that a little bit later. Well, let's see. Maybe while we're on it, let's see if we can find an XMR XAU chart. What would be the reason for that? I'll probably need to create it, but let me just leave it like that for now. We'll do it next time. But what would be the main reason for that? Outperforming gold? Yes, it will probably be outperforming gold for a while, but will it sustainably over a long period outperform it? Hell no, I doubt that that's going to be the case. Let's have a look at the next one. Now, Zcash was really big at this stage, and then with the Zcash team leaving and so forth, guys kind of just, the thing kind of petered out a little bit. Let's see what the price is doing right now. So I'm going to go Zcash on Binance. Probably going to have a lot of data there. I'm going to go into the 4-hour time frame just real quick and have a look there. Just turned blue. The trend leading up to this long-term correction or correction now from 700, we're in an uptrend, maybe correcting to the upside. What do we have? Trend blue, momentum still weak, bearish continuation. So it's telling you that even if we can still chop up to at least 480, and at some stage the momentum might switch around 4 hours. 1 hour time frame. Well, let's do it this way. This is how you apply the 3-candle rule to get in on the swings. That's the candle that turned blue. Switch to a 1 hour time frame. We blue already. Switch to a 15-minute time frame. Wait for blue to turn yellow and then blue again, and then you enter. Which means where we're at right now, this is in a buy zone, a swing buy zone. Enter on the candle that turned blue. 3 candles back showing validation. Between 3 and 5, as the notes say. We're testing support right now. Risk is always going to be risk. It's never going to feel good. But where you're at right now, there might be a buy. And then that might still then drive price. From that point onwards, if it goes there, you've got a 5 risk-reward ratio just on that swing alone. And if the lower time frames you switch to an 8-minute, you'll probably get even more trade setups to play with if it goes up to the upside. Okay. Let's listen to what Info Crypto says. Let's see how that works. I'm going to type it in. XMRUSDT / XAUUSD. Let's see. Now it's loading. I'm going to take something to drink and then we're going to discuss. Then we're going to end up the stream. Yeah, interesting chart. Let's go higher time frame. Just have a look at this now. This is that long-term. Let's put this thing to stealth mode. First, let's start down stealth mode. Gold was dead for forever, meaning accumulating forever. And previous bull markets highs for XMR against gold saw these highs. And now you've had this long-term accumulation against that. And the resistance level lives there, or the upper end of the range. Wyckoff calls it the creek. Got out of the creek, tested it, fell back into the range. Got out of the creek, tested it, and now you're moving. Now you're in the markup phase, which is really good, which means sustainably this thing could outperform gold for, I don't know, until the trend changes. And if we then have a look at this thing on a 4-hour time frame, now without now probably stating the obvious, I'm going to quickly just go to normal analyst mode. Bullish as hell. Support lives there at 0.15 in relationship to gold. Hidden bullish divergence. This would be a good area to buy. So the XMR dip, again, timing it with how it's performing against gold, that could be a good time. If gold dumps and XMR dumps less, this chart could still go up. That's the risk though. So if you look at stuff like this, although it is to the USDT value, it's in relationship to each one of those, whether which one is performing better. That's all that it's doing. So that's it. So have a look at it. Lovely chart. XMR could definitely do really well. The only one thing that I think that counts against it, and that it's probably a blessing, but will hurt. Monero was on Binance. Monero was on all the major exchanges. And because privacy was dead and boring for the longest time, got delisted. Zcash is still on those exchanges, so they have the bigger liquidity. So now you have to go and look for it on smaller exchanges. With this move, it might get relisted. And if that happens again, you're going to just have that be the exit liquidity needed. So keep an eye on that. Don't use that, it's coming back to Binance or something like that, as a reason to hold. I would rather use that as a reason to sell. Just my point. Jordan Ronaldo Federer. To have access to the buddy indicator, what you need to do is you need to go to my WAP page, link in the video description. This is now for the Buddy Pro. Join my private group, and within the private group, the access would be granted to the buddy indicator. It's linked to that group. Okay. No promos on the buddy indicator. If you want it, you have to go through the private group to get it. Okay. That's it. Thanks so much for taking the time, guys. We've got a lot of bullish out there. There's a lot of coins looking really good, and I think the big move that's going to come our way is probably only going to happen next week. Fridays are typically good dump days, so we'll be back tomorrow just to see what that does, and then we'll take it from there. Okay. If it disappeared yesterday, then you're in the private group already. Then ask me there, and then give me your Discord, and then I can fix that for you, my friend. That's not a problem. That's it. You have a lovely day. See you guys tomorrow for our normal stream. Thanks for taking the time. You know what to do. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, share the video with a friend or within any crypto communities you have. Let's make sure they trade and we do things responsibly, level by level. No prediction, hype, BS. That's it. Not financial advice, as always, but have a lovely day. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.